Hello everybody, video here for today. These are the retro no cap recaps of the Curse of Oak Island Season 5, episodes 15 and 16, originally aired in February 2018. If you missed my recaps of previous and future episodes, there's a link to my Oak Island playlist in the upper right. Let's get into it. Do 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 do. Previously on the Curse of Oak Island, people have been looking for an incredible treasure for 229 years. The DMT caisson is down to the 77-foot level as the team is attempting to relocate the chapel vault. Concrete, wood, gold flakes, and parchment with the letters VI written on it were found when the drill bit was brought back to the surface in 1897. The team believes that they were on the surface of the chapel vault with the H8 caisson recently, but instead of oscillating into it, the caisson pushed it to the side and further down, as shown here. With DMT stuck on something, they plan to clear out the water and sludge in the caisson and then put a camera down it to see exactly what they are stuck on. 3 years prior, Marty and Alex Lagina traveled to Montségur, France to investigate possible links between Oak Island and the Knights Templar. There they meet Kathleen McGowan, an American author and Templar researcher. She visits Oak Island in this episode with new information. Gary hands her the 13 or 1400s lead cross he recently found with Rick in Smith's Cove. She has seen photos of it, but says that holding it was a completely different experience. She had forwarded the photos to her modern-day Templar Knight contact, whose first thought was of these rhomboid shapes the Knights used to make out of gold and then cover them with lead as a way to secretly transport the gold. On our laptop screen, you can see the shapes having the same type of necklace hole as the cross and also the Windows date of November 8th, 2017. Kathleen also informs them that Dome, France, where Rick, Alex, and Peter saw the carving that matches the cross, is southwest of a city called La Canada. The country of Canada is thought to have been given the name by a 1500s explorer from the Iroquois word for villager settlement, Canada. Kathleen suggests that the name could have come from Templar explorers much earlier. By the 1700s, all French-controlled North American lands were known as Canada. Rick, Marty, and Gary show Kathleen the island, including Smith's Cove. She asks about the digging they did the previous year there, and Marty says that they weren't metal detecting at the time and could have easily unearthed and moved the cross without knowing. And this is my personal addition, so could any of the other searchers in the previous 220 plus years. Gary now always checks the beaches each year due to winter storms moving things around. Gary, along with Rick and Marty, go to Lot 8, having been given unprecedented access to the Nolan property and 50 years of survey maps by Fred's heir Tom recently. Rick has found that Lot 8 is one of the many places Fred thought treasure had been buried but then retrieved. Gary passes up an iron target, which I wonder about now since so many significant iron artifacts have been found. He does find this keyhole plate that has a faint flower decoration on the left side. It being asymmetrical would indicate that it was hand forged. Back at the DMT caisson, as dry and as clear of muck as it's going to get, the team lowers a high definition remote camera. They see rocks and clay, but the obstruction is still obscured. Moments later, a rush of water fills the caisson again. The team from Irving Equipment will use a 25-foot long piece of steel to probe the obstruction to try to get more information. They determine that it is a solid piece of steel at approximately the same depth as the 90-foot stone was in the money pit due to the elevation changes over the years, mostly because of Robert Dunfield's 100-foot wide dig in 1965. The episode ends with a war room decision to send down diver Mike Huntley to see if he can determine what the obstruction is. While Irving Equipment makes preparations for Mike's dive, Rick, Marty, Charles, and Gary return to Smith's Cove to do some exploration near where the cross was found. At low tide, Marty uses the excavator to dig about 5 feet down and runs into this wood, which is hand cut. They think it is part of this almost 65-foot long U-shaped structure that Dan Blankenship found in the early 1970s while searching for the remains of the previously dynamited flood tunnel system. The wood had notches every 4 feet as well as Roman numerals carved into them. A severe storm destroyed the cofferdam before Dan could complete his search. The wood will be carbon dated, and if it's 1600s or earlier, a full scale investigation of Smith's Cove will be done. Rick, Charles, and Dave travel 50 miles north of Oak Island to meet with the family of Robert Dunfield's crane operator, Harold Bishop. His grandson got in touch because they have an artifact he brought home. The family says the wood came from the Money Pit area and that Harold thought it was from a ship. Dave says it could be part of a rudder due to the slots in it. There are also square nails in the wood, which indicates older. Rick says bronze nails would also indicate older. Rick asked the family if they would be interested in carbon dating, species identification, and electron microscope on the nails. Harold's daughter says she thinks her dad would really want that. In the war room, Rick and Charles are joined by geophysicist John Wanacott, who retrieved and studied a sample of the U-shaped structure 30 years prior when Dan Blankenship discovered it. He got no definitive results. Marty and Craig joined via video conferencing, and they have the results of the testing of the wood from Smith's Cove, which tested as 1684 to 1732, as well as the Dunfield Dig artifact, which was 1646 to 1690. The Middle Eastern human bone found in borehole H8 earlier this year has virtually the same date range as the U-shaped structure. The team agrees to completely excavate the U-shaped structure, but it will not be this season. With 3 days to go until the DMT dive by Mike Huntley takes place, Rick and Gary return to Lot 8 for more metal detecting. Gary finds this small military cuff button first. Then this brooch. And then this red gemstone that has 12 facets. This is the brooch and stone fitted back together. It is later identified as rhodolite garnet from the 15 to 1600s, and one researcher suggests that it could have been part of a high priest's ceremonial apron for a ritual with the Ark of the Covenant, like Belloc wore when he opened the Ark in the first Indiana Jones movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark. No Cap recaps of season 11 will debut Tuesday late nights, and I'll also continue these retro No Cap recaps of seasons 5 through 8. Seasons 1 through 4, 9, and 10, and the aired episodes of season 11 are already done. Upcoming streams, answering your financial questions with Coach Steve Money is going to be most Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And there's Ramsey Show, After Show, 2 new ones this month, February 13th and the 19th. And those are live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free consultation assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That's a video conferencing appointment. So you can do that from anywhere in the world that there's internet, even Oak Island. You can email me about coaching or anything on my YouTube channel, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Channel donations can go to paypal.me/Coach Steve Money or Cash App at $Coach Steve Money. or a Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can have me on the gram at coachstevemoney. And of course, this YouTube channel is youtube.com/coachstevemoney. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment.